All right, so in previous videos, we made a phone holder. We talked about maybe what we want to change in our phone holder. Maybe we wanted to play around with this length down here to change the angle. Maybe we wanted to change the slot. So really start playing around with the design. But to play around with it, we need to add a few more things. So let's do that. So in this video, we're going to explore adding variables to your design to make it a little bit more user-friendly in manipulating. So let's play around with it. So I'm going to make a little surface. And this little surface I'm going to basically call my desk. So we're going to create a new part. I'm going to do this very quickly. So top, sketch, I'm just making a big rectangle. That was not a big rectangle. Here we go. Let's try it again. Control Z. And this is where I'm going to basically mimic my table where my phone's going to sit on. So, and I'm doing this all in 3 dimensions, so it looks a little funky, right? So I'm just going to make this really large, 10 inches. It's not really large, but quite a bit bigger than my phone holder. Call this 10 inches. Great. And I'm going to extrude that. We'll put it down, and I'll make this 1 inch. Great. So that's my terrible looking table. Just for visual effect, I'm going to change the appearance of it. So I'm going to right click on my part. I'm going to edit the appearance and I'm going to make it this gray color so it looks like a slab. There we go. So I'm going to go back to my assembly. And in my assembly, now what I'm going to add is that slab, my table. And don't worry, we can always go back and change the name and it will update properly. So let's go ahead and click the green check. Go. That looks pretty terrible. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make this so that the phone sits on the surface here on the table. And we're going to do that with this little tangent mate. So I'm going to select the tangent mate. I'm going to click my table first. You see that it highlights in yellow. And then I'm going to select this line, which is where the bottom of the phone is going to sit. That's not super exciting, right? But we're going to do that again. So we're going to do tangent mate. I'm going to click my surface. And I'm going to click the other side of where it's going to mate to that surface. It probably disappeared. There we go. And I'm going to click the green check. I want my table to remain fixed in space. So I'm going to right click that part, which is my table surface, and I'm going to click fix. So I always want my table to remain fixed. Now what I can do, I'm going to make sure I'm unhighlighted my snap mode there. So, okay, yes, unhighlighted things, or I can always press escape on my keyboard. Okay, now I can move my phone around and kind of get a sense of what it does. Okay, there it is on the table. That's cool. So I'm going to go to my right view here. I got things oriented at a funny angle. I'm not going to actually fix that right now because I'm not super worried about it. Maybe if I make this a little bit fancier, I'll orient it properly. I feel pretty good about this angle, but if we wanted to manipulate the length of the back part of this, maybe we want it to be a little bit more vertical. Let's do that. So I'm going to go to my holder leg, and I'm going to go into my sketch. Maybe we wanted that to be 2.5 inches. Changed it, click the green check. I go into my assembly, and I should have an updated version. So it's a little bit more vertical. Let's make it more extreme so you can see the change. So go into my sketch, make the change. We'll make it 4 inches. That will be terrible, but totally worth it for visual effect. There we go. Not so great, right? So we're adding a lot more material over here to get it to be a bit more vertical. Let's go to the other extreme. Let's make it 1 inch. Let's play around with that. 1 inch. That should make it pretty terrible. There we go. It's leaning back a lot. Actually, this is going to tip over. I can guarantee it. Just looking at it. Maybe we'll make it. I think that 2.5 is actually pretty darn good. I like it. Cool. So something that you might also want to do with this is, let's say you want to edit the slot width. So in order to edit the slot, right, we need to edit two different parts. So this gets to start to be a pain in the butt. Because in order to edit the slot, we need to go over here, we need to edit this width, then we need to go over here, we need to edit the width of the slot. That's a lot of changes, right? Wouldn't it be nice if we could change one thing and it would change it all for us? We can. And we can do that with a variable. So we're going to create a variable studio. I'm just going to drag this over. And I'm going to create a variable I'm going to call slot. It's case sensitive, so be careful with your variable names. Slot width. Go. And it's a length. And right now it's going to be 1 inch. And we'll add a description. The length, the width of our slot for phone holder. You don't really need a description here, but it can be helpful when you have a lot of variables. So let's use this variable. So slot width's the name. Go to my phone holder. Let's see where that sketch is at. It's on sketch 2. So I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to click on the length there. And now instead of typing a number, I'm going to type slot width. And I can press tab or I can click on it. Press enter. And you see it actually changed to an f of x there. If you hover over, it tells you it's slot width now. Oh, that's cool. Click the green check. I'm going to go into our holder. Go to my sketch. Go to that 1 inch. I'm going to type my variable name there. Press tab. Press enter. Press the green check. And watch. I can go over to my variable and I can change this to, let's say, 2 inches. Let's make it huge. And if I just go over to my assembly, it updated it. Look how cool that is. That slot width is not too terribly bad. Maybe I want it a little bit smaller. Maybe 1 3/4. See what that looks like. Oh, that's not bad. Maybe we'll leave it at that. I kind of like that. All right. And we can do that with anything, right? So we can actually create a variable. Maybe you actually wanted to put the variable for holder or leg length. Let's call it leg length. And let's make it 2.5 inches. And we're going to go over here and add that variable. So we'll go to our sketch. So this one now is leg length. Check. So now I can just edit my variables and that will change my stuff in the assembly without a whole lot of work. Super cool, right? But that starts because I had some intent on how I was going to do this design right away, which makes me think, maybe I want to change the location of this, and maybe I want my lip height to also be changeable. So let's go ahead and add that in here as well. So we'll say phone lip is what I called it, and in my sketch I made that a 1/4 inch. Let's make another one. Call it bottom distance, 1 inch. So distance from ground or table to bottom of the phone. Okay, so on my phone holder, I'll change my sketch. This one now is called, what did I call it? I already forgot, bottom distance, yeah. Press enter. And my other variable that I made is phone lip. So that will be over here. We can actually use variables in math. So there's the dimension of my plywood. So we can say phone lip, press enter. Press enter again. Oh, it's complaining about unitless. If you get the unitless error, make sure you put an inch next to the 1/8. I've actually forgot to put units in my, okay, let's do this again. Phone lip plus 8-inch. There we go. Yeah. Press enter. Okay, cool. And then, I'm going to add one more. Material thickness. So I've already done capitals. I'm going to keep all capital. Material thick. And that way it will always update my material thickness. Thickness of material for laser. And where did we use material thickness? So the width of the slot, so let's go in here. So it's no longer 1/8 of an inch, it's material thickness. Let's go over here to phone holder. So that will be this dimension here, which was our extrude. So we're going to edit that, double clicked on it. Thickness, press enter. And hopefully, let's try it. Let's see if I got this right. Let's make it a 1/4 inch. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Material thickness. Let's check to see if our slot changed. Forgot to click enter there. That did. That changed thickness. Let's look at our assembly and see if it looks a little better. That looks great. Oh, I forgot something. What else changes? The extrude on our front holder. So let's go to the extrude. And our material thickness needs to be a variable there. There we go. Check our assembly. See if it looks good. Looks kind of terrible. I bet we forgot something on the sketch. Yes, look, I got the 1/8 inch in there. So that should now be material thickness. Pressed enter. It tells me the variables that are in there when I hover over it. Check. Check my assembly. Okay, that looks good. Looks quite a bit thicker, but that looks good. So now I have a really nice looking set of variables that I can edit. Let's make this an 1/8 again. And every time I update my stuff, all my assembly changes. So I have a really great way to play with my variables, maybe talk to my teammates and see what it is that we think we want for a phone holder. All right, well, thanks for listening. In another video, we'll talk about making some more modifications to make it look pretty. And I look forward to having you again.